Back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. I am back with another video for you guys. So in today's video, we are going to really speak about mind control. So very much about mind control within the Jehovah Witness organization, and why it's actually really hard to talk to Jehovah Witness. The reason why you always go around circles talking with a Jehovah Witness, there is a deeper meaning to that. Okay, there's something a lot deeper that a lot of people actually don't really know about. And a lot of people don't know that these people are being controlled in the mind. Okay, so we're gonna speak about mind control and how the JW organization is deceiving many people, okay, because they are, and why it is very, very hard to talk to Jehovah Witness. So let's get right into this video. So I'm on their website, jw.org, as you can see here. So if there is a Jehovah Witness watching this video, I always say I'm using your own resources. Okay, so I'm on your own website that you promote to people every time when someone comes up to you, okay, or when you come to them or whatnot. So I'm on their own website. So it was very hard for me to look at articles or look for articles surrounding this topic of mind control because Jehovah Witnesses, they don't put that out. So what I had to do, I had to kind of look at articles um that was surrounding this topic, okay, of mind control. But before we get into the articles, before we get anything else in their own website, what I want to do is show you guys a definition of mind controlled. Okay, so what does mind control mean? We have to know, what does it mean? What does it mean for someone to be under mind control? Okay, let's read the definition. So, mind control refers to a broad range of psychological tactics or techniques used to manipulate or influence an individual's thoughts, behaviors, emotions, or decisions, often against their will. Okay? It's a concept that raises significant ethical concerns about free will and personal autonomy. Okay? So, this is a definition of what mind control is. It's about manipulation in the mind, manipulation in someone's thoughts, their behaviors, their emotions, and decisions. And I want you guys to understand first the definition of mind control before we get into the deeper stuff um pertaining to Jehovah Witness organization, right? So that is what mind control means, okay? So now we're on a article from them. I pulled up an article and it says remain loyal to Jehovah. And it's from one of the publications from Enjoy Life Forever. I'm an interactive Bible course. So first intro, before we get into the article, I want to get into this picture first of all. All right, so as you can see here, this is a Jehovah Witness family, okay? And these are people that are, you know, against the Watchtower, okay? Against the Jehovah Witness organization or against the Watchtower, okay? Now, I'm going to show you guys how Jehovah Witnesses are trained to believe whatever the Watchtower says. And they would call these type of people apostates, which we're going to get into a little bit, okay? So they call these people that are against the Watchtower apostates, all right? And that Jehovah Witnesses has the quote-unquote true religion, and that Jehovah Witnesses cannot listen to apostates because they are liars, okay? So let's read this article, all right? Because this really speaks about this, okay? It says true Christians are determined never to allow anything or anyone to interfere with their worship of Jehovah. Okay? No doubt that is how you feel. Jehovah values your loyalty And then they quote scripture from First Chronicles 28:9. And then they say, what situation could test your loyalty to him, and how could you deal with that? Okay, so we're gonna jump down. Okay, and I want to speak a little bit about this loyalty aspect, because this is also another big thing of how Jehovah Witnesses are being controlled. Okay, now it says this. They asked the question, how could others test our loyalty to Jehovah? Then it says, some people will try to prevent us from serving Jehovah. Who would do such a thing? Some who have left the truth tells lies about God's organization in order to destroy our faith. They are called apostates. Also, some religious leaders spread false information about us to cause unsuspecting ones to leave the truth. It is dangerous for us to argue with any opposers, to read their books or blogs, to go to their websites or watch their videos. Okay? Regarding those who try to discourage others from loyal sermon to Jehovah, Jesus says, let them be. Blind guides is what they are. If then a blind man guides a blind man, both will fall into a pit. And then they quote Matthew 50:14. Okay, let's stop right there, because this is what Jehovah Witnesses are trained to do. Okay, so if anyone is against the organization, so if anyone speaks bad about the organization, they are immediately called apostates. So back to this photo here, they will call these type of people who are against the Watchtower, they will call these people apostates. And that Jehovah Witnesses has the quote unquote true religion. So anyone who is against the organization is immediately called apostates. So if you even speak bad about the organization, you are called an apostate. Okay? Now, for example, I'm going to use myself as an example. Like for me, I'm a Christian, okay? And I'm speaking against this organization because this organization is deceiving many people, okay? It's deceiving many people, and many people are blinded by this organization. So now a Jehovah Witness can literally say that how I, myself, is called an apostate. So they will call me, who's against the organization, an apostate because I am against the organization and I'm speaking bad. So this is how Jehovah Witnesses are trained. When they are in their kingdom halls, okay, or in, within the organization, they are trained that the governing body are the ones that are used by God, that they are used by God in order to help the Jehovah Witnesses lead to salvation, and that you cannot listen to anyone who speaks about the organization. That is how they are trained. Okay? That is how a Jehovah Witness is trained. They are trained to believe, because they have been indoctrinated to believe that whatever the governing body says is right because they are used by God, and that you have to follow whatever the governing body says. And then if anyone speaks against the organization, so speaks about the Watchtower, they are considered an apostate, and that they are evil, and that they are speaking lies, and that you cannot listen to them. I'm also going to get into the part where Jehovah Witnesses cannot do external research. So their research is only on the website, the JW.org. Okay? So I'm going to get into a little bit about that, because that's also important as to why these people are being controlled in the mind. Okay? So, this is what they say about apostates. Okay? They say that some religious leaders spread false information about us to cause unexpected ones to leave the truth. So, as you can see here, we see that how they call themselves the truth and that apostates are dangerous. You cannot listen to apostates because what they're saying is lies. And this is how they get people into mind control. And we can see off the bat that this is literally a cult. Okay? This is a cult. Because what they're doing, they are isolating them into just believing whatever the Watchtower says. Jehovah's Witnesses cannot question the governing body. Okay? Because we're going to get into another article about the governing body and how they will call themselves equal to God. Okay? It's just pure blasphemy. Okay? Pure blasphemy. So, they would say that what apostates are saying is dangerous information. It is filthy information, and they would call the information evil. And that what they have is quote unquote the truth. Because what I think is that these people are hiding. They're hiding many things from the congregation that they don't want the congregation to know. So that is why they're going to label people who are against the Watchtower apostates and how the information is dangerous and you can't look at that because these people are trained to believe that whatever the Watchtower says is the truth, and that if anyone is against the Watchtower is an apostate and that person is evil, automatically evil. Okay? So, and then they quote a passage of scripture in Matthew 50:14. It says, "Let them be blind guides," is what they are. "If then a blind man guides a blind man, both will fall into a pit." And they quoted from Matthew 15:14. But here's the thing that they don't understand. Okay? Because first things first, these people are the ones that are blind. Okay? Jehovah's Witnesses, they are very deceived. Okay? They are deceived, and they are quickly not even chosen to think, but automatically thought to think that they are the ones holding the truth, and that anyone else who is an apostate is blind. But what I think, not even what I think, but here's the truth. And if there's a Jehovah's Witness watching this video, I need you to really understand this. Okay? You are the one that is being controlled and manipulated. Because if you can't think for yourself, if you cannot ask questions, because we're going to get into that, because Jehovah's Witnesses cannot ask questions. They cannot ask questions. They can't do critical thinking, none of that. They have to immediately just go whatever the Watchtower tells them. They have to immediately go with what the governing body tells them. They can't think for themselves. They cannot question. They can't ask questions. Or if they do ask questions, then they are going to be seen as going against the organization or going against Jehovah. It's sad. It's sad, okay? And they will call someone like me, okay, who's a Christian, an apostate. To be honest, I don't care what you call me. I'm just a follower of Jesus Christ. All right, I'm a disciple of Jesus Christ. I really don't care what you call me. All right, so you can call me as many names as you want. I'm still going to speak out against this organization because this organization is blinding many people. Okay, it's deceiving many people, and they're blinded. All right, so Now, let us get into the next part. Part 2, question 2. It says, what personal decisions may test our loyalty to Jehovah? Love for Jehovah will move us to avoid having any involvement with false religions. Neither our job nor the organizations we belong to nor any activity we engage in should be connected with false religion. And then Jehovah warns us, get out of Babylon the Great, my people. Okay, first of all, Jehovah Witnesses, why are you just cherry picking verses? Okay, I don't get why. You see, this is what they do. They just cherry pick verses in order to fit their doctrine. But why are you cherry picking verses that has nothing to do with what you're talking about? The reason why is because they want to quote unquote sound credible, quote unquote. Okay, so now let's continue on. So now they say, um, you know, beware false teachers. They say beware false people who speak against the organization, and that if anyone is speaking against the organization, that person is automatically false. Okay, so now let's get into another article. This is another publication from them. Um, this is from 1991, and it says beware of apostates. Okay, so this is another article from them. I don't know what year this article came out, but this is like a recent one. Okay, but this one is back in the 1990s. This is 1991. So if there's a Jehovah Witness saying, but oh, it's an old publication, listen, you're still preaching about the same thing. So I don't care how old it is. This is coming from your own publications. Okay? This is coming from your own publications that you claim is the truth. Okay? So it says, beware of apostates. Okay? Okay, so let's start from the beginning. It says Jehovah's servants must abhor what is evil and cling to what is good. Then they quote Romans 12:9. Always quoting scripture. Just cherry picking verses. Anyway, let's continue. The Bible writer Jude helped others to do this in his letters sent from Palestine, probably around 65 CE. Jude called himself a slave of Jesus Christ, but a brother of James. This James was evidently the well-known half-brother of Jesus Christ. Jude himself was thus Jesus' half-brother. However, he may have thought it unbecoming to mention this fleshy tie, since Christ was then a glorified spirit person in heaven. Jude's letter was very direct in giving counsel that can help us to cling to what is good and beware of apostates. Okay, first of all, we're gonna go into what Jude actually said. Okay, we're gonna read of what Jude actually said, because first of all, Jude was not talking about apostates. What Jude was speaking about was false teachers. Okay, so people who doesn't preach about Jesus Christ. Anyone who preaches a different gospel is a false teacher. That person is spreading lies. Okay? That person is a false teacher. That is what Jude is speaking about. Okay? You see how they're just automatically just taking stuff out of context. Okay? Because if you read Jude, because Jude is a very short chapter in the Bible. It's not long. I think it's only like 1 page or something. But anyway, it's very short. But what Jude is speaking is about false preachers and false teachers. Anyone who preaches a different gospel and doesn't preach the gospel of Jesus Christ is false. That person is spreading lies. They're deceiving many people. Okay? But what the Watchtower is doing, they're making it seem as though that what Jude was saying in his letter was pertaining to Jehovah Witnesses. But that's not true. It speaks, and the Bible speaks a lot about false preachers, anyone who preaches a different gospel. If you read in Galatians, I can't remember the chapter, but if you read in Galatians, it speaks about if anyone comes to you with a false doctrine or a false gospel, do not allow that person inside their home. because that person is dangerous. That person is spreading false teachings and false theology. It is not the gospel of Jesus Christ, but what they are spreading is a fleshy gospel. That is what Jehovah Witnesses are doing. They're spreading a different gospel because they don't spread the gospel of Jesus Christ in the Bible. They don't spread, they don't preach the gospel in the Bible, the gospel of Jesus Christ. No, they preach about a different gospel, and that gospel that they preach is fleshy. They preach a different gospel, and it is not the gospel of Jesus Christ. So this is another article that speaks about apostates and how you have to beware of them, that they are dangerous, that they are evil, quote unquote evil. Okay, and that you have to stay away from apostates and understand that the Jehovah Witness organization is the truth, and that you cannot do any research, because if you do, then you are against the organization. Because I think off the bat, that's a cult. That's mind control. That's a cult. We're going to get into the definition of a cult right here. I pulled it up on Google. It says a cult refers to a social group, often religious or quasi-religious, characterized by unusual beliefs, extreme devotion to a figure or an idea, and potentially manipulative or coercive tactics to control the members. Okay? So look at this part here. And this is one thing of what Jehovah Witnesses are clearly doing. When they say to beware of apostates, when they say that apostates are evil, when they say that to not listen to apostates. Look at this part here. Cults, so it says secrecy and isolation. Cults often operate in secrecy, keeping their belief and practices hidden from outsiders, and encourage members to isolate themselves from family and friends. So, why is it that a Jehovah Witness cannot do research? Why they can't do external research? Why is it that they only have to go to what the Watchtower tells them? And what the Watchtower is doing is that they are clearly isolating these people. It is pure isolation, that you literally have to follow whatever we say. And if you question what we say, you are against Jehovah, you are against the organization, and that we're going to shun you. We're going to speak a little bit about shunning in a little bit. Okay? So, if you continue reading this article, it then speaks about how to deal with apostates. It says how to deal with them, and that they are dangerous, and that, it says these apostates were also, murmurers, complainers, right? And then it also jumps down, but the godly needs no fear that destiny for Jehovah will protect them from stumbling into sin and destruction, awaiting apostates. Okay, so they would say that how they are the ones that are called apostates. All right, and it's just really sad. It's really sad. Okay, so now what we're gonna get into, right? So we talked about the apostate part of things. Okay, so now we're gonna get into isolation. All right, so isolation or shunning. Okay, there are many articles pertaining this. Okay, many articles pertaining shunning, and what it means to be shunned, because like I said, you have to understand, if anyone questions the organization, if anyone questions whatever the Watchtower tells them, they are automatically shunned, because they cannot question what the governing body says. They can't. They can't. Right? They just can't. And this practice of shunning, which I did a video, oh man, it was like a while back I did this video about shunning. But one thing you have to understand in terms of shunning is that you're not only shunned by the organization, you're not only shunned by the congregation, you are also shunned by your family. So if you have a family that, you know, your mom is Jehovah's Witness, your father is Jehovah's Witness, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your cousins are Jehovah's Witnesses, and if you are shunned, that family can also shun you as well. And when it means to be shunned, these people, they are isolated. They're basically isolated. Okay? Family cannot talk to them. Friends cannot talk to them. Do you think the Bible even encouraged shunning? Okay? Do you think the Bible encouraged shunning? Because they would say how shunning is love, quote unquote. It's not love, but what it is, it's manipulation and control. That is what shunning is. Shunning is manipulation and control. That is what shunning is. It's not love, but what it is, it's abuse, it's control, and it's manipulation. Point blank, period. And probably if you're watching this video and you're a Jehovah's Witness, you can definitely agree to this. Okay? Because they're isolated. It's all about isolation. They're isolating them from the outside world. They can't listen to what apostates say. They can't listen to what other people say. Because those people are quote unquote dangerous. I don't know how clear that can literally get to show how the Jehovah's Witness organization is a cult. I don't know how clear it can get. I don't know. I don't know how clear it can get. It's all about conditioned thinking, you guys. Conditioned thinking. These people are conditioned to think that what they have is the truth. And it's very hard to find articles about this topic, about mind control, because that is what Jehovah's Witnesses are doing. They are hiding information. And what they always do. Okay? They hide stuff from people. Okay? So now we're going to get into the part as to why it is hard to talk to a Jehovah's Witness. Because there are many factors as to why it is difficult. Okay? So when you're talking with one and you feel like they're always going in circles, okay? So they're always just talking and they're going in circles all the time. And then taking a bunch of scripture, okay? It's something a lot deeper, you guys. All right? First things first, the lack of critical thinking. Okay, I spoke about this already, but the lack of critical thinking is there. These people are not able to think for themselves. Okay? They're not able to think for themselves. So that is why when you talk to them, right? When you try to talk with them, they may try to get defensive, right? So this defense that they put up is because they're not able to think for themselves, because they have been trained to think whatever the Watchtower tells them to do. Okay? So whatever you you tell them, their responses are whatever the Watchtower tells them to say. Okay? So that is how they get very defensive. All right? So they put up this defense, and when you put them in their corner, so when you corner their beliefs, right? And when you try to corner them is when they get defensive. And this is also the other reason as to why they shut down. Okay? Because when they shut down, they cannot defend themselves. Okay? So that's why when you talk to them and they don't want to talk to you anymore, okay, and they just shut down, the reason why they shut down is because they can't defend the organization anymore. And also it's the lack of critical thinking. They cannot think for themselves. They have to just go whatever the Watchtower tells them. And it's honestly sad. Okay? It's honestly sad. It's literally just sad, and it's disgusting. Okay? It's sad. All right? So these people are lacking critical thinking skills. That is why they get defensive and they shut down. And this is also the reason why they want to run away. Okay? Because, when they say, okay, it's time to go, that is because they are cornered. So when you corner them and when you speak against the organization, they're cornered with their beliefs, and now they cannot speak anymore. So it's hard. Okay? Now, here's another one. Fear of their salvation. Okay? Now, this is another one that is big. Okay? Their fear of salvation, or about Armageddon. Okay? Armageddon is a big thing within the Jehovah Witnesses. Okay, so I want to go to an article speaking about this, because it's very it's a lot. And this is a common thing. This Armageddon that they speak about is a very, very, very big topic that they talk about. Okay? Because they would always say, this is what the Watchtower says. The Watchtower always says that, look here, you don't want to be destroyed when Armageddon comes. You don't want to be left behind when Armageddon comes. So the other reason as to why it is hard to talk to a Jehovah Witness is because they are afraid of losing their salvation or being destroyed when Armageddon comes. And this tactic of Armageddon is constantly taught to them. It is constantly taught to them that, Armageddon can come any day, and that they need to be in good standing with Jehovah. So that is why they go around and around and around and around in circles all the time, because they are afraid to lose their salvation. They are afraid that they're going to be destroyed by Armageddon one day. They are afraid. These people have fear. Okay, understand that these people are fearful. They're afraid. Okay, they are literally afraid. Okay, and it speaks about Armageddon. And this is the big thing that they like to talk about. It's gonna be like hail and fire and sulfur and earthquakes and thing, right? So it's gonna be like a mass destruction of human beings, and that you have to be in good standing with Jehovah when Armageddon comes. Okay, so these people are literally afraid. These people are literally, they have fear. They have fear. They're afraid, and that they have to be in good standing with Jehovah. That is why they continuously push their beliefs on you. That is why they try to indoctrinate you. Because when they try to indoctrinate you, then they are in good standing with Jehovah. Okay? And then also, any one of them who give out pamphlets, those magazines, go door to door, those people are called active publishers. And that if you are an active publisher, you are in good standing with Jehovah. These people have fear in them. They are afraid that if they don't do this, then they can be destroyed when Armageddon comes. So Armageddon is literally pushed to them all the time. That is why it is very hard, because they want to indoctrinate you, right? But here's another thing too, all right? And if there's a Jehovah's Witness, you could probably agree, all right? But here's the thing. Jehovah's Witnesses do not like to talk to anyone that knows the Bible, okay? Because as soon as you know the Bible, it is very, very hard for them. Understand this right now, okay? It is hard for a Jehovah's Witness to indoctrinate someone with their theology when someone knows the Bible. That is why they are trained to avoid people who knows the Bible. So someone like me who knows the Bible, okay? Cause I don't deal with their beliefs, okay? Because it's deceptive, it's wrong. But they do not like to talk to anyone who knows the Bible, because when they do, it is hard for a Jehovah's Witness to then indoctrinate that person with the theology. Okay? It is hard. It is very hard. They don't like to talk to anyone who knows the Word of God. Because as soon as you do, then they go in circles, they go all over the place, they take scriptures out of context, which we're going to get to that in a little bit too, as to why they do that. All right? Now, the next part as to why Jehovah's Witnesses, why it is hard to talk to a Jehovah's Witness, is because these people are conditioned already to have an answer. If you don't know what that means, let me explain, because this is something that a lot of people don't know about. And listen, I'm going to say it because, a lot of people don't know about this, okay? So this is another reason as to why you just can't talk to Jehovah's Witnesses, why it's hard. It's all about automatic responses, right? Very, very automatic. These people are trained to have an answer to any type of challenge that they may occur when you're having a conversation with them. Okay? So, this is what they do, and this is how they're indoctrinated. Okay? In those kingdom halls, right? They have something called Bible study, quote unquote. Okay? This Bible study that they have is not really a Bible study, right? It's really not. They have their New World Translation, which I believe it's a faulty translation, but they have their Bible, but also along with that they have the Watchtower material. Now this is what they do when they have the Bible study. In the Watchtower material, it is different than what they give you, like with the pamphlets and the magazines. Like, it's different, right? So it's a different it's a different Watchtower pamphlet that they have, right? So when they go through this pamphlet, it's in groups, right? When they go through this pamphlet, y'all, they have the question. So in the book, they have the question and they also have the answer, right? So they have to read the question and they also have to read the answer. Mind you, their material, Jehovah Witness material, is literally made from the Watchtower, so the governing body, right? They are the ones that makes these pamphlets. These pamphlets that they give to people, they're made from the governing body. Okay? So the material that they're using is Watchtower material. It is from Watchtower. Okay? So they have to read the question. All right, read the question, and then they have to read the answer. And the answers are from the Watchtower. And now, here's another thing. During this process of their quote unquote Bible study, they cannot question the organization. They cannot question anything that is in this booklet. So that is why they have to literally follow whatever it says. Because if they question, then it's the issue and that you are against Jehovah and the organization. Okay? So this is why I spoke about this lack of critical thinking. There is a lack of critical thinking. That is why they are automatically trained to have an answer. These are all automatic responses, automatic answers. So when they are challenged, they know exactly what to say. When they are cornered, they know what to say. It's because of this Watchtower material, okay? They read the question, then they have to say the answer. They cannot question anything. They have to go whatever it says. That is why it feels like they're talking to a script. Because actually they are talking with a script. They are. Because also another thing too, they are trained. They have videos. There are videos to show a Jehovah's Witness what it's like when they're going to talk to someone about the organization. Okay? It's all a script, you guys. It's all a script and it's all a tactic. Okay? This is why it feels like it's not a real conversation, because I have talked to not only Jehovah's Witnesses in my comment section, okay, because when I'm talking to some Jehovah's Witnesses in my comment section, I definitely feel and I definitely sense that there is a script that they're under and that they're talking under a script. That is why it is always this one repeated thing all the time, that they're going in circles. And that's why when I talk to a Jehovah's Witness, it's like they're talking with a script. And that is what they're doing. It is a script. Many people don't know this. Okay? That is why it is hard to talk to them. These people are trained to have automatic responses. Okay? They're trained. Okay. But before I close this video, what I do want to do, I do want to really speak about how to really approach a Jehovah's Witness. First things first, you need to approach your love. Approach your love, care, and compassion. Understand these people are being controlled in their mind and they're brainwashed. Okay? Let's look back in the meaning of mind control. Right? It's a psychological tactic or technique used to manipulate or influence an individual's thoughts, behaviors, emotions, or decision, often against their will. And that is what Jehovah's Witnesses are under. They can't make decisions. They can't ask questions. They are being controlled in their thoughts, and they are often against their will. Understand today that these people are being brainwashed. They're brainwashed. It's all about mind control. Okay? So first things first, have love, compassion, and care. Second thing is that you need to be patient. Okay? When you're talking with one, understand that it's all about being patient, because it's very hard. And here's another thing. A lot of Jehovah Witnesses has been brainwashed so much that they immediately reject the truth, and that and some of them, it's really hard for them to come out the organization because of how brainwashed they are. They have been completely brainwashed. These people need help. They need help. Okay, so please be patient with them. Okay, so when you're talking with them, understand it may take them a while, but be patient with them. Some of them actually think, after the conversation, and some of them just throw it away. That's the level of the brainwashing they're under. Okay? It's all about planting seeds in their minds. It's all about planting seeds in their minds. And that's the most important thing ever, is planting those seeds of the truth so that they can leave the organization. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. That is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I know this is a pretty lengthy video, but I wanted to get it out there. If there is a Jehovah Witness watching this video, this is not a way to attack you, or this is not a way to bash you. But what it is a wake-up call to you. You have to understand the truth, and you must know the truth, and the truth is Jesus Christ. And I do want to do something. I haven't done it in a while in my videos, but I do want to extend this invitation to anyone who doesn't know Jesus. I want to really extend this invitation here. If anyone doesn't know Jesus, and I just want to tell you that Jesus says he is the way, the truth, and the life, right? And if there's a Jehovah Witness watching, there is salvation in Jesus, not in an organization. There's no salvation in a group of men in New York called the Watchtower. No. There is salvation in Jesus Christ. And I want to extend this invitation to anyone. And if you have been thinking about giving your life to Jesus, do it right now. Come to Jesus humbly and say that, Jesus, come into my heart. I know that I'm a sinner, and I know I've done wrong, but refresh me, renew me, and come into my heart. You could just say something as simple as that. Come to Jesus humbly and allow him to be in your heart today. Anyway, I'm going to end this video right now. I will see you guys very, very soon.